WildTalkRadio.com.
Theme song!
This is the Firefly Funhouse, and I want to introduce you to some very special friends that I met along the way.
Hey, this is Adam Copeland, a.k.a. the Rated R Superstar.
Hey guys, this is Renee Paquette.
This is Kane from WWE.
This is WWE Superstar Drew McIntyre.
Hello, this is WWE Hall of Famer, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Hi, this is Bree, and this is Nikki, and we're the Battle Twins.
This is Christopher Daniels, and what I like to do on my off days is listen to The Rack, and now you are too.
And it is awesome.
Satisfaction is guaranteed.
It's time to experience the award-winning The Rack.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire!
I love kickball.
I'm back, taking souls and digging holes.
I'm gonna break you, bitch, you hear me?
You can look, but you can't touch.
Ruthless aggression.
With your host,
they've been lying to you. Heroes don't exist. Y'all become addicted to the illusion of what a hero does for you. Have I mentioned that I was once addicted to eating sponges?
Lindsey Ward.
Look at me, woman. And you can just call me Taker.
Oh my God, it's Taker. Does Taker hate me? Oh my God, it's Taker.
And she was a wicked, wicked child who spat and swore and chewed tobacco.
I like puppets.
Stickers!
And her producer, Sir Rockin.
My little creatures of the night will now experience the magical art of puppetry.
If you smell what the game is playing.
Live on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
We're here. Yowie wowie!
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to The Rack right here on WildTalkRadio.com, brought to you by our friends over at MBG Films. Check them out, youtube.com/MBG1211. And if you're listening to us over on RackRadioShow.com, WildTalkRadio.com, or directly on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. If you're on Twitch and you happen to have a Prime Gaming sub available, well, you can use it here for free for 30 days. All you have to do is hit the little purple button down the bottom screen, and you can subscribe for free. It is that simple. You can also subscribe the regular way, follow the channel, hang out and chat, or listen to the archive. We are happy to have you any way we can get you. I'm your host, Lindsey Ward. Joining me, as always, is the ever-faithful producer / co-host / handyman, Sir Rockin.
We're here. We're live. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. Tweet us at Wild Talk Radio, at Rock Radio Show, at Lindsey Ward. Come to WildTalkRadio.com, RockRadioShow.com. We're here at Twitch.tv/WTR Live to interact with us live.
I feel like we've lived a month in the last 7 days.
We've lived a year in the last month. Think about it.
We have. No, there's been so much shit that's just happened in the last 30-odd days that it's just been insane.
It really has.
Like, can everybody just calm their tit just for 5 minutes? Just
no.
Everybody calm down.
They sadly cannot.
No, they can't. They really can't. So we're gonna be talking news. We're gonna be talking NXT. We will be talking the thing tonight. We're not going to get specific, but we will be talking about specific things that happened. So if you are sensitive to that kind of content, we will warn you before we talk about it. just so you have time to mute. But yeah, so some interesting things to discuss. I say we don't wait any longer. We just jump right into the news, brought to you by our friends over at MBG Films, youtube.com/MBG1211.
Let's go for it.
I'm going to close with it.
Yeah.
So there's been some announcing... Actually, wait, no. Scratch that. Reverse it. TNA announced their return to their weekly broadcast Explosion, which will air exclusively on TNA Plus before making its way to YouTube for free viewing. The show will air weekly every Friday on TNA Plus, the TNA streaming service, and then the episode moves to YouTube on TNA's channel every Tuesday. So check that out. They're making more strides.
They are. So it'll be 2 matches along with weekly video features for Explosion. So you get 2 matches in addition to some interview type packages and whatnot. For TNA Explosion's back after a few years' absence. It's back, and now that TNA's back, you're going to bring back everything. So Explosion is here, more content for the provider. You could sign up for TNA Plus, their subscription service, so you can get all their premium live events and more with the TNA Plus.
Ding!
And yes, they are premium live events, not pay-per-view.
Like you do.
So the service is, as I think we mentioned, is through Endeavor.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I think there's some friendships or some purchases that might have happened or will be happening here soon. Just my personal thoughts.
Eventually, but right now, just, they like working with people and providing content.
I think this is great news for TNA. I think this is awesome. Like, we always talk about TNA as this, basically dark horse that continues to survive no matter what, right? And the fact that they're growing again, the fact that they're bringing stuff back after so much just BS that went down with the company, I believe that to be an awesome thing.
Yeah.
And keep going. Especially now, in this day and age where they can utilize things like YouTube and Twitch and everything else, where back in the day they weren't necessarily able to, because back in the dark times, YouTube wasn't really a thing yet. It was just kind of starting to grow.
I mean, especially live streaming on YouTube. YouTube has been a thing for a while, but live streaming content, which they've started to do, because Impact airs on YouTube 30 minutes. So it's not live, but it's a stream. 30 minutes after the traditional broadcast on television starts. So 8:30 p.m. Eastern, it'll start, compared to 8 p.m. on TV.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's part of their whatever. TNA, it's not TNA Plus, because that's the streaming service, what their membership service is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Whatever their subscription plan is there.
Yeah, which I'm not sure what it is, but go check it out.
I don't know the exact name. You just become a member for their channel like you do any other channel. But they probably have a certain name they like to call it.
Branding. Mm-hmm. Those branding schemes, damn it.
Everyone likes a branding scheme.
Everybody does indeed like a branding scheme. Moving on to AEW. CMLL's brightest stars will be working with All Elite Wrestling as part of a new partnership between AEW and CMLL. Mystico, Henricho, Voldar Jr., and Mascara Dorada? I'm so sorry if I mispronounced everything. Dorada, thank you. Mispronunciation, awesome. We'll be wrestling in AEW.
Yeah, their appearances started a week ago, Saturday, and they really made their appearance last night on AEW Dynamite, because the one thing AEW needed was more wrestlers.
Sure.
Heard a number of the 195 people are under work for them in some fashion.
195?
I think so, yeah.
Just ring talent?
Yeah.
God, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. I hope that seems like a lot of people. That's a lot. That might be too many. It might not be the exact number, but it's over 100. It's over 150 people based on people they have in Ring of Honor and people they have, because Ring of Honor works for AEW and AEW does ROH stuff, so it's a combination of. And they have a lot of people that don't wrestle. Like Jake Hager barely wrestles. Like a lot of the talent rarely wrestles, and they're managers and they're part of factions, and it's a lot to keep track of. And then, by the way, rankings are back for AEW. Congrats to them. They have rankings again. Woo! Where they have 5 people for a top 5 ranking shift for their men's titles with 4 belts. So how does that exactly work? Are you just contending for the world title, or are you contending for all titles? No one ever said anything about that, but hey, you know, that's kind of logical. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yep, makes sense. Math. So, yeah.
Is that wrestling math?
It's wrestling math. By the way, chat, we have new emotes. 2 new emotes.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. No.
We do.
No.
There are 2 new emotes.
They are vile and rude things.
Yes, wrestling math gross, yes.
I don't, Matt, your band. I don't understand, just to kind of go on the rankings. And to be fair...
Also, by the way, before you continue, you can do !expert in chat now.
I hate you.
No, you still, it has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with you. But you can try it.
I'm triggered by that word now, by the way.
I know, expert. There you go. See?
Oh my God in heaven. I don't understand. Not to like make fun of AEW or anything, but I don't understand why a company with predetermined outcomes has rankings. I've never understood that about AEW. From day one, I have never understood why they have rankings. It seems like a ridiculous concept to me, where all the matches are predetermined, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, quite literally, the points are made up and the rules don't matter.
Yes.
And so it's like, for them to be like, well, we have rankings. You literally determine people's rankings.
Yes.
It's not like you're actually having them go out there and wrestle and it matters.
Correct.
So I know it's like a way to like justify of, oh, so-and-so has like a 55-0 record or an 0-55 record, so they shouldn't go for a title. Or they should go for a title. Like, it's a way to justify it, but at the same time, to me, it feels a little bit ridiculous because you can shoot yourself in the foot with that so freaking easily by just saying, oh, we're going to have the person that has the completely losing record and hasn't won a match all year go for a title. Well, why are you going to do that over the guy that's maybe like 500 and, probably has a better shot than the guy that's always lost?
You want to know why the rankings went away? CM Punk.
CM Punk.
The best thing he ever did was give the rankings.
I don't, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yes.
I agree with him in that sense, that it's like, to me, it seems like a silly concept. But if it works for them, if it makes them happy, if it's what they want to do, go live your life. But to me, in a company where it is a predetermined outcome and everybody knows that it is a predetermined outcome, rankings are silly. They're just very silly things to me. But whatever works for you.
Whatever works.
And speaking of whatever works, moving on to WWE, we've had some announcing shakeups as we saw Pat McAfee return to Monday Night Raw this past Monday. He will be joining Michael Cole on the desk until football season starts. And then we have brand new voices for SmackDown. Let's all be real, he's only sticking around for football season. Corey Graves and Wade Barrett will be taking over the desk on SmackDown, so I'm glad to see Wade landed somewhere.
So
a little worried about him.
It appears Corey is going to be play-by-play, and Wade's going to be color.
That's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Because Corey's not been a play-by-play guy.
And neither has Wade, so it would be interesting if they shared the role and kind of made new roles out of it. That would make things interesting.
I was going to say, if they just kind of bounce off each other, I think it could be good. Like, they talk about the matches. Like, I think it will be a cool mix.
It'll be a good mix. I kind of feel like they're going to need I don't know how this is going to go.
They may need a third.
They're going to need a third. And I know they don't want a third. I know they want to get away from a 3-man booth, but
the thing is like, in certain instances, a 3-man booth is beneficial, especially if you need just that straight play-by-play person. You can have 2 color commentators add to it, and having 3 voices is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, Corey's a heel, so is like, but Wade's also a heel, but also acts face sometimes. Like, it could work. It's gonna be odd. It's gonna be odd. That's the best way to put it. It's gonna be odd tomorrow hearing it, but you're gonna need when it comes, like, for SmackDown, it might be alright because they don't have to do pay-per-views, premium live events together, because that's Cole.
Yeah.
So like for big matches, you're fine. Maybe they don't know who to replace Victor with. I don't think it's that because they have people who could do play-by-play. They really don't want to go back to the 3-man booth, but they want Pat, and you need to put people places, and you're not going to get rid of Corey or Wade because you like both of them, and they're really good at their jobs. So, and Lindsay said Pat's here probably till football, but he may be beyond that because we talked about it last week, that that Netflix thing.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be really good to be the lead commentator for the Netflix show.
He would be great for the lead commentator on the Netflix show, but it all depends on what his travel schedule is and what he's willing to commit to, because he's a busy guy during college football season.
But I don't know if he's confirmed for college football yet. That's what's up in the air. Whether he's, I don't know if he has one more year left or this was his final year on game day.
I have no idea.
That's more to come.
Yeah, we'll hear later in the year on that. I'm sure they'll go ahead and lock him up if they want. But yeah, I don't expect Pat to be around in the fall. I expect him to go do game day again or go do something else with college football. And then they do an announcer shift, which is not a bad thing, especially if Raw is moving to Netflix, because they'll reshift the announcers anyway.
Especially
when
for
they
that
go to Netflix.
for that 2-month period or 3-month period where they're not on television.
That's going to be weird.
I think more to come on that. Yeah.
I think they're going to stay on USA for the time being.
We'll see.
We'll get more information on that. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, they may add a third voice. They could have Vic Joseph come up from SmackDown or from NXT and have him work on NXT. Or not NXT. Goddamn, SmackDown. There we go. I'll get the show right. Have him just work with them on SmackDown until they can kind of get their groove. Like, I'm sure they've been working together. That's the thing. Like, Cole is pretty, because Cole runs the announcers. He manages all the announcers, so he's pretty fastidious about all of that and trying to make sure everything is the best it can possibly be.
Yeah.
That's why they ended up getting rid of Kevin Patrick. Is like, he's a wonderful guy. He's a great announcer. He's just not a good wrestling announcer.
He doesn't do the sports entertainment well.
So it's they went ahead and made that trigger. That's why you're seeing like a lot of different things happening with the announcers, is because Michael Cole has been trying to find his replacement because goddamn he wants to retire and they just won't let him. But number two, he wants to make sure he finds enough replacements that they're good for a while and they can cycle people in and out, because if anybody understands how quickly you can burn out in that job, it's Michael Cole. And he's seen a lot of stuff.
Because how many times, let's go back, how many times did somebody named Mr. McMahon get annoyed with announcers who he would bring in to replace Jim Ross and then always would bring back Jim Ross?
Because he wants them to do what Jim Ross could do, and only Jim Ross can do what Jim Ross can do. And the same thing with Michael Cole.
So, like, that was the thing. Every time they would try to get Joey, it was like Joey Styles at one point got the Raw announce job, and then, well, Joey, we want you to be more like JR. Well, you have JR, but we don't want JR. We want you to be like JR. And Coach Styles was like, can't. So they kicked him off WrestleMania, and then JR called WrestleMania, and then it led to Joey Styles' infamous promo, which was amazing, about the Spirit Squad and showing more spirit. And then ECW came back, and then Joey had a job, and then Joey is no longer around. So congrats. Anyway, beside the point. Moving on.
So, best of luck to Corey and Wade as they move forward in their announcing endeavors. So this is the point of the program.
No.
Oh no, we're saving it for the end. Okay, all right. Blame Bruns.
Might as well get through this part.
Bones breaking, backs cracking, shoulders snapping. It's this week's injury roundup.
You know, this is an unfortunate one. But it's made the road to WrestleMania a little interesting. CM Punk is out with a torn tricep.
# blame Brent.
So
it occurred.
Go ahead.
It occurred Saturday night in the Royal Rumble when he took the slam from Drew McIntyre.
The DDT.
Yeah.
So, what's funny?
What?
Guess who had tricep surgery today?
CM Punk?
Bruce Pritchard.
Oh, God. Wait, when did Bruce Pritchard have tricep surgery?
He apparently had tricep surgery today, so can they get a 2-for-1 deal?
Shit.
Conveniently gets tricep surgery.
Who's the dude down in Alabama that they use?
James Andrews for the longest time, yeah.
They built that man's whole career. What are you talking about? That whole surgical center. He's got a whole pun intended operation down there. Like a rehab center and like everything else, man. Like between WWE and I think the NFL and possibly Major League Baseball, like he is the premier surgeon.
Yeah. Now, Chad, we're going to give you a 5-second warning of, hey, we're going to be talking about sensitive subject now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sensitive subject.
Ding. So last week, because we had a shit ton of news, we apparently needed more. It broke on the interwebs that one Vincent Kennedy McMahon was being sued by an ex-employee for, among many other things, sexual trafficking, I believe sexual assault, several other charges, and the 70 page document was leaked to the internet for everybody's reading pleasure.
It was not, we'll clarify, it was not leaked. It's free to view because of legalities.
Yeah, but it came out really super fast. Normally it takes those things a couple days. Somebody was on it that day.
Oh, yeah.
But the document is out there for your reading pleasure if you would like to read it. I will just have the eye bleach ready.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to tell you. Just have the eye bleach ready.
Mm-hmm.
And it accuses McMahon essentially of doing these things within the last 2 to 3 years to a former WWE employee, somebody who he blackmailed and extorted for sex.
Janelle Grant.
Janelle Grant. I didn't want to say her name.
It's public knowledge and everyone knows.
I know, but I'm just trying to be respectful. Where he basically...
I'm going to cut you off. They're not, because her lawyer's out there talking, so it's fine.
Okay. Anyway, Miss Grant was basically extorted for sex by Vince, where all these promises were made, and he didn't necessarily follow through on them. And then on top of that, she was passed around and offered to wrestlers, executives, pretty much anybody Vince felt needed to have a good time. And also there were pornographic videos and pictures distributed by Vince of Miss Grant to people in the company, both prospective talent and current talent, as well as executives. This is a massive story, and this is not a new thing. Vince was accused last year. This is widely believed to be, this particular lawsuit is widely believed to be the thing that took him down.
It was.
Prior to the sale. And that was the reason he resigned the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Only to come back to execute the sale. Now it has come to bite him in the ass.
Again.
Because apparently he stopped paying her.
They said. So long story short, at the end of their relationship, he forced her to sign an NDA and then paid part of it, and then was going to make payments. After the first 1 or 2 payments, he stopped. And well,
here we are. It violates the NDA agreement. She's taking him to court. Named in the documents are Vince McMahon, WWE, and John Laurinaitis. Specifically, there are also several unnamed executives. Stephanie McMahon's name appears, as well as several others. And it's a thing. So we didn't talk about it last week because it had just broken, and there was no
wrestling tie-in yet.
Well, there was no wrestling tie-in, but also it had just broken. It was quite literally just the legal document in the lawsuit, and nothing had happened yet. Well, come Friday morning or Friday afternoon, Vince effectively resigned immediately from WWE, as from all positions, all posts, all the things. He's no longer the executive chairman of the board of TKO. He no longer has anything to do with WWE outside of stock, which is believed that he will probably be bought out here very soon. That's speculation. That's not confirmed. The SEC has been notified as of Monday morning by TKO that Vince has resigned and he's no longer a part of the company. Vince has obviously denied the allegations several times.
I'm going to interrupt really quick. Slim Jim was pulling their sponsorship from the Royal Rumble, thus leading to the quick action to get him removed from his spot as the executive chairman. Continue.
Yeah, Slim Jim and what's speculated as several others threatened to pull their sponsorships. Slim Jim went as far as to publicly announce that they were pausing their sponsorship with WWE until they could make further assessments, and pretty much I think with an hour or two of that being announced, Vince had resigned, which is not a terribly surprising action. Everybody was calling for him to be removed or to be let go. And obviously for legal reasons, they had to look at everything and work it out. But this is a fairly quick removal. Like it was within 24 hours. And then obviously they've been dealing with the legality of the situation over the weekend, and Slim Jim unpaused their sponsorship. As far as we are aware, nobody has backed out of any further events, including WrestleMania.
Neither's and Netflix is still on board. They made specific comments this week that Vince is gone, everything's fine. Vince is good. Vince is gone. They're good.
Yeah.
Has no role within the company whatsoever.
So this whole thing is just kind of insane. So let's talk about today.
And
Stephanie
then there's more. Steph, she's listed there. I don't know if I believe Miss McMahon was listed, or someone who fit her description in a role was listed as leading the committee, not knowing of anything, but she was involved in the committee that
investigated it.
Investigated the special committee that did it towards the end of 2022.
Yeah, so she's not named as one of the defendants, but she is, I think, on one of the many pages, she is listed as leading the special committee.
Yes.
And just to be fair, it is innocent until proven guilty on terms of who knows what, who did what, who said what, who looked at what, who did things. However, there have been other implications, such as a former UFC champion who they were trying to sign and did re-sign, which is widely believed to be Brock Lesnar, and why he's not showing up right now is because he is potentially implicated in this. And so they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna hit the brakes on that one just a little bit, just a little bit. This happened, by the way, all of this happened like 24 hours before the Royal Rumble.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt again to add more context and more detail regarding the Brock Lesnar thing. Brock Lesnar currently is going to be in WWE 2K24, but will be very downplayed as in terms of I don't think you can remove him at this stage.
When does the game come out? March?
Yes.
Yeah, it's already been sent to production. They can't pull him out. Unless they pause the production on the...
Which they will not. But they could... Yeah. You could... It's... I don't know. These days you can do anything because basically anything that's in production is a download anyhow, so it doesn't really matter. Your discs don't really matter. They still charge you money for it. You're still downloading, so it's nothing physical actually on disc anymore. It's just a download file. Anyway, that's a different rant for a different day, but that's just... digital. But what is currently active is the WWE Supercard game. He's involved. He's a card in the game. If you currently have a Brock Lesnar card, then you're fine. You're good. You're safe. Whatever. You can no longer pull a Brock Lesnar card in WWE Supercard as of today.
Oh wow.
So because 2K is also part of that, so that's why. So
yeah.
He's being downplayed as of now. Doesn't mean he will not return to the game, but for the time being, he is not part of it because of legal reasons. So
what they're doing is they're doing massive levels of damage control as much as they possibly can, and there is a lot of speculation about what's going to happen with WWE moving forward. Rumors are flying over the weekend that TKO is effectively going to clean house and get rid of all of Vince's people. There's no confirmation on that. Nothing has happened. Nobody was fired this week as a result of this. It could still happen, though. Obviously, they have to do their own internal investigation. They have to look into this. They have to determine who was involved, who knew what, and what the proper punishment would be going forward. You had Ronda Rousey call out Bruce Pritchard over the weekend as well.
She called Bruce Pritchard Vince McMahon's avatar. Even though Vince McMahon is gone, Bruce Pritchard would still be his voice, and she would know because she was there when Vince was gone in 2022 or 2023, and still making changes to things and acting on behalf of Vince in her mind. And when someone like Ronda Rousey makes a statement, who has 3.4 million followers on I believe Twitter or Instagram, or one of them are combined or something, she has a reach. She's a platform. That's not good. For starters. So who knows what happens with Bruce going forward? Conveniently, he gets tricep surgery this week.
They can still fire you. despite having surgery. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I know. He gets step away from the product for a bit.
Yeah, he has to go recover, so he's not a part of it. So he's gonna let this all blow over.
So it's just conveniently that, but he's been hurt for a while. I do know that, but it's just the timing is just very
the timing is very
convenient for things. So
and
then there's People Power
today.
himself. Talk about Laurinaitis.
All right, Johnny Ace has been very, very quiet throughout this whole thing until today, where he, through his lawyer, issues a statement denying the allegations against himself, claiming that he was quote-unquote a victim of this, as well as Miss Grant, implying that he was just a stooge. He wasn't a part of this in terms of being a ringleader, that it was apparently all Vince's idea.
Which clearly it was. It was. But what he did was confirm
everything was true.
Everything was true. So,
Laurinaitis rolled so fucking hard today. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. And not to defend him, because I'm not trying to defend him, but it makes sense. And here's why. Because right now it's civil. But if they can prove that there's anything criminal, which I pretty much seems like there has been some criminal activity as well, in this case, this could go to criminal court and everybody involved in this on some level may possibly be convicted. Vince for sure. John, very much possibly. So it's kind of like he's in save his own ass mode right now. Which is, he's going to roll, he's going to turn, he's going to tell them every piece of information he can. Because in terms of civil, if this goes to civil court and she wins, she can take him and Vince for everything they're fucking worth, potentially.
So if I am Endeavor, who owns World Wrestling Entertainment, who is in part of this lawsuit, I would do anything in my power to avoid discovery, avoid a trial, avoid any further, legalese, and have Vince McMahon pay this woman off for good.
Yeah, you find a way to settle this.
Because you settle this before it hits any more lawyers and documenting in court proceedings or any kind of thing, because if they get to discovery, a lot of people are going to be screwed. And more people will come out and talk about things, and according to Miss Grant's lawyer, there are people flooding his email box who want to speak up, whether they're actual statements or not, but it's just people are willing to speak up about what is going on inside of World Wrestling Entertainment, or what was going on inside World Wrestling Entertainment at that point.
Well, yeah, it's basically, it's cover your ass. It's save your own ass mode at this point. And to be fair, the one person that could keep them all quiet is gone. That threat that Vince could make of whatever he was going to do to you is gone. So it's if there's civil lawsuits going on, if there's money that's going to be expected to be paid, if there's criminal charges potentially pending from all of this, I'll tell you what you want to know. I'll help you with this. As long as you keep my name out of it, or you do whatever. Yeah, sure, I'll give you whatever you want to know. Because here's the other side of this. Discovery is going to be really easy for them, because it's already been investigated internally by WWE, so all the documentation's already there. They already have names and that kind of thing ready to go.
So I read something today, and it was kind of amusing. But could these legal proceedings sort of happen in cases like this, and there's court documents, and there's documents in companies. There's paperwork track, right? Mm-hmm. Everything. Well, WWE moved offices, right? In the last year. Wouldn't it be something if some of those computers that had all those files and documents on it just sort of disappeared?
That server got shut down. We don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened. That would be Vince McMahon's only savior. At that point, I don't think anything happened. It was a funny anecdote on Twitter.
No, considering the fact that the text messages got leaked in this whole thing,
They have everything. They have everything. But it was just a
somebody,
funny anecdote about it, that's all.
You know, if they're smart, because here's the other side of it. They moved offices last year, but TKO is not a fool. So it's like if you have something like that on Vince, you hold on to that shit. And you make sure that you keep that in a safe place just in case.
So it's being widely speculated and reported by multiple people that Ari Emanuel, the owner of Endeavor and TKO and WWE now, is going to clean house of all the mess. His main priority, because guess who's been working for WWE for the last year? His daughter. So he's going to make sure nothing inappropriate is happening now that his daughter is working for that company.
Yep.
And Ari Emanuel, who's very, very ruthless in business, is not going to hesitate. He doesn't care. He can find someone else to do a job. It's what he's done his entire, professional career. He's found some people to do the job. He walked away from a Saudi deal years ago just because he didn't like the practices and whatnot, and he backed away. What's funny is Vince McMahon's final business move is creating the Saudi deal for the UFC this past year.
Ironic.
Very ironic. So that will be his last real contribution, I guess, or public contribution to the sports entertainment realm and TKO. So yeah, there's a lot of people who were very critical of the way the post Royal Rumble press conference was handled.
Before we go to that,
let me just finish what I want to say, because I don't really want to get into it.
Okay.
Everyone really overblew everything that they think Triple H said or didn't say, but what did you expect him to really say? He couldn't say much, and Triple H, Paul Levesque, is not a board member anymore of WWE or even TKO. He is the chief content officer of the company. His focus is on the creative end. He's not the face of this company anymore. He's not that guy. He gave his statement. He's focusing on the positives, like where Monday Night Raw is going and how successful the Royal Rumble is. Could he have said it differently and not used the word amazing week? Yes, but he's focusing on the positives, and he has his children to worry about because it's their grandfather. And his wife, who is Vince's daughter, and things. He's in a bad spot. But it wasn't as bad as all the reporters tried to make it seem, because if he said no comment, they would have pressed him on it, and he would continue to give no comment, and then reporters would have gone on their Twitters and go, well, he didn't say anything. Now they're just going, well, he didn't say the thing correctly. They would have been mad either way. Anyway, continue.
Everything he said was probably dictated to him on some level by legal from TKO or from the higher ups on TKO, because they knew he was going to walk out in that press conference, and they knew that question was going to get asked, because reporters be reporters and they have every right to ask that question, and they should be asking the question of what's going on and how do you feel about it. And like you said, it's a very, very, very difficult situation for Hunter, because first and foremost, it involves his family. Mm-hmm. Vince is his father-in-law. Stephanie is Vince's daughter, and Hunter's children are old enough to know what's going on. And what makes this worse is that this has gone absolutely viral. It's absolutely everywhere. And I would hope to God it's not being brought up to Hunter's children in school, but it may very well be. And they have to deal with it from that angle, and just the own personal embarrassment that comes from that, and the fact that he can't even really potentially shield his own children from it, has to be absolutely horrific. And then there's the professional side of it. Should he be asked about it? Yes. But he, like you mentioned, he's the chief content officer. The official statement on this should not be coming from Hunter. It should be coming from Ari Emanuel or somebody else on the board that is qualified to make the statement regarding the situation and Vince McMahon on the whole. It should not be coming from Hunter. Do I agree that he could have said it better? Yes, he could have, but he has to be very, very, very careful about how he says it and what he says, because it will get back to his family. It will get back to his children. And also, I believe at this stage of the lawsuit, anything they say can be usable. Anything. They can use that later on in court proceedings. So he can't really say anything that's of any value. And to everybody who's like, well, he could have said it's a legal situation. Everybody already knows it's a legal situation. He doesn't need to say it's a legal situation. You saying he should have said it's a legal situation is automatically why he doesn't need to say it, because you already know. Everybody already knows that he's not going to say anything for legal reasons. And that he just probably doesn't want to talk about it anymore. That's probably all he's talked about, if you really think about it, since the story broke. Because can you imagine? Because he was apparently at a show when it broke, wasn't he?
And supposedly they all found out together, yeah.
Supposedly the official story is that like Hunter and the talent all found out together that day of what happened. And I'm sure all he's been doing since that time is just trying to maintain the situation and trying to control the situation. And I'm sure that there have been meetings and there have been emails and there have been things sent out. Trust me, because when corporate crises happens, nobody works faster than HR. And legal.
Because it came out, Thursday?
It came out Thursday, so I promise you.
They were at Rumble rehearsal.
Yeah. So he and the talent were together when the story broke, which had to be just utterly humiliating for him to be with everybody in the company, and you find out that information. If he didn't already know. I'm not saying he did or he didn't, but just to have that break had to be horrific for him, personally. And then, of course, there have probably been a billion emails being sent out to everybody in corporate, everybody on staff, from legal, from HR, basically saying, don't fucking say a word. Don't talk to the press. Don't do anything. For right now, just keep your mouth shut. And they're being advised on what to do from legal. And I respect that. As somebody who works in corporate, as somebody who has not been in situations like this, but we had a massive issue a couple years ago at my company, and just the amount of emails from legal just saying, just don't talk to the press, were just insane. So Hunter's only basically doing what he's being told to do. It's not an excuse, but I wish more people would have taken that into account. Like, I understand it's a hot button topic. I understand everybody wanted to hear what he had to say on Saturday night. I understand some people were pissy that he didn't give them the answer that he wanted. But y'all just need to chill. Everybody just needs to calm down. It wasn't that bad. It could have been worse. He could have said no comment, or they could have just not had him go out there.
Which would have created a bigger story why he would not have facing the press.
Yeah.
So he went out there, faced the music, and whatever. Anyway, that's beside the point. This situation is shitty. It sucks. I feel sorry for everyone involved except for Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. They can. Yep. So.
Is John Laurinaitis still with the company?
No.
Or did he leave?
Once Vince left, I assume Johnny. I don't think Johnny's with them.
Did he manage to cling on after Vince left the first time, or did he come back?
I think I'm trying to remember. Was removed. I don't remember. But they can all just kick rocks. Anyway.
It's a horrible situation. I feel very bad for Grant. I hope justice is served for her.
And everyone else.
And everyone else. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the last time that we will hear about something like this from Vince. It's been well documented that there are other ladies out there that are under NDAs, and if Vince has not been paying them as he should be, then I wonder how many others will go and get lawyers to get them to sue Vince for the fact that he's basically breached the NDA, and they can bring the story forward. Which is horrible to think about, but it's, at this point, there's a pattern. You can see there's a pattern with him. It's disgusting. But my hope and my prayer is that justice is served for everybody. And for the love of God, Vince, please don't come back. Please don't try to come back. I do not want to be sitting here doing this show a year from now, talking about how Vince McMahon is trying to force his way back in. Please don't do that. Just stay away.
The positive is he has no power to do so because he does not have any controlling interest in World Wrestling Entertainment, TKO, like he did a year and a half ago when he still owned WWE.
I know, and I know Ari won't let him, but still, just don't try. Just stay away. And that goes for anybody else. Like, if in terms of in terms of TKO coming in and cleaning house and getting rid of people, they should. They absolutely should. And I don't know if people have been placed on administrative leave or what the situation is. There's obviously no information coming out about that, but that really should have been the first thing that happened when the story broke. is anybody that is connected with Vince that is non-necessary personnel. They go on administrative leave. And by necessary personnel, I basically mean somebody like Hunter, who they need him for Rumble. But after that, you sit there and you kind of look at how much can he do without going on leave? Because obviously he has to book the shows. So he is essential to the product, but everybody else, you kind of sit there and you look at it and you go, yeah, we're going to suspend you from your duties for the time being until we figure out exactly how connected you are to this.
Yeah.
And then you start letting go. But if people are smart and they're anyway connected with this, you resign quietly with your tail between your legs and you say, you know what, I'm going to leave. I'm going to spare you the trouble of, firing me. I'm going to go. That would be the best case scenario. But yeah, I have a really sinking suspicion that that's exactly what's going to happen, is that Ari's going to investigate this, or TKO will investigate this. They'll get the list of names and people are going to be gone.
If they're even still with the company, because there's been a lot of people who have been cleared out since the merger. So who knows who's still working for the company?
I would say anybody connected to Vince that's not Hunter, and it may be Hunter. Hunter may have to go. Like, that's a really sad thing to say, especially considering all the work that he's done for the product and on the product. But Hunter may have to go. Nick Khan may have to go.
I don't expect neither one to go.
I don't expect them to go.
Because they were the ones leading the charge to remove him originally, so I think they'll be fine.
But I'm just saying, it depends on how much they're going to have to do in terms of the board to appease everybody. And obviously the biggest appeasement is Vince. Like, everybody wanted Vince gone. Sponsors, TV deals, all that stuff. It's no, you get rid of him, because brands don't want to be associated with this kind of thing, especially for all the details that came out about it. Brands do not want their connected to that kind of thing. So they were like, no, you need to fix this now, or else we're pulling out. And they did. Vince is gone. But yeah, God, I hope he doesn't.
Hopefully this is the last, it won't be, last time we report on Vincent Kennedy McMahon in any manner, but I'm feeling we're going to be reporting.
And we're going to talk about this again.
We're going to be talking about this again.
I fully expect more lawsuits.
Just save it for after WrestleMania. Thank you.
Yeah, just to be clear, all of this happened like the day after WWE announced the Netflix deal. The day after. Excuse me. And that's what you want. That's what you want. You announce a $5 billion deal with Netflix.
You bring The Rock in on Tuesday, and then by Thursday it all goes to
hell. And Vince was at the bell ringing too.
He was. That's his last. Honestly, that is the last public appearance we will probably see of Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah. So with that, I say we take our first and only break of the evening, and when we come back, we are going to be talking all about NXT Judgment Day, which is this weekend.
Vengeance
Day. One of the days. It will be airing this weekend, I believe, on the Peacocks.
On the Peacocks this Sunday. On the Peacocks and the WWE networks worldwide.
Can they be consistent on their days? Make it either a Saturday or a Sunday.
Because they got a group deal for the arena, which is why it's on a Sunday. Because they're going to do Raw in the same building.
Ah, makes sense. So, you're listening to Rack right here on WallTalkRadio.com, and we'll be right back.
We got no fear, no doubt, all in balls out. We're going up tonight to kick out every night, take anything we want, drink everything inside. We're going till the world stops turning while we burn it to the ground tonight.
Are you following us on twitch.tv/WTR live? Do you have Amazon Prime? If so, you can link it to your Twitch account and subscribe to our Twitch channel for free with Twitch Prime. It's the easiest way to help support us for free.
Like what you hear? Subscribe to The Rack on Apple Podcasts. Just search for The Rack Radio Show. And while you're there, leave us a review and tell us your thoughts on your favorite show on a Thursday night.
Every Sunday night, the evolution continues with Wrestle Talk Radio, giving you all the latest happenings in sports entertainment. With the intern, the producer, the original Tim Stein, and sometimes, a K-Sheep. It's WTR Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain, only on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
Did you know that you can use support a creator code ROCKNSOCK in the Fortnite item shop? That's our OCKNSOCK in the Fortnite item shop. Hashtag ad because we are a hashtag epic partner.
Every Monday night, once Monday Night Raw ends, the Raw post show goes live.
You want to hear a story? Give me a hell yeah!
Join Lindsey and Sir Rockin as they give their opinions on what they liked, what they didn't like, and what left them completely confused. It's the Raw post show. Monday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern, live on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
And that's the bottom line! Go Stone Cold Simpson!
This just into the CB Radio News Desk. Sources have confirmed that CB Radio will be live Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Wasn't this confirmed last year?
Yes.
Then how is this breaking news?
No one said it was breaking news. We here at the CB Radio News Desk are just confirming what has already been confirmed.
To confirm, you are just confirming that CB Radio is live Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Confirmed. We would like to remind you. Always trust the source that confirms that CB Radio is live Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Hello, this is WWE Hall of Famer, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you're listening to Rack Radio.
And welcome back to The Rack right here on WildTalkRadio.com, brought to you by our friends over at MBG Films. Check them out at youtube.com/MBG1211. And if you're listening to us over on RackRadioshow.com, WildTalkRadio.com, or directly on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. You're on Twitch and you happen to have a Prime Gaming sub available. You can use it here for free for 30 days. All you have to do is hit the little purple button down the bottom of the screen and you can subscribe for free. It is that simple. You can also subscribe the regular way, follow the channel, hang out and chat, or listen to the archive. We are happy to have you any way we can get you. And with that, we are here to cleanse the palate, as it were, and talk all about NXT Vengeance Day, which will air live this Sunday on the Peacocks in the United States, and I believe on the WWE networks outside the U.S. for a little while longer.
For the next year.
So
we're not going full deep into previews or whatever. We're just going to give casual thoughts and opinions and the whatnots. It's not a full preview like we do for other big events.
Because I don't watch NXT. But I do have one criticism, because I did watch NXT this week.
Yes.
In light of what we just discussed.
Yes.
Who made the decision? To have Chase U be saved by JC Jane and company deciding we're gonna do a sexy calendar. Who made that decision? I need to know. Because in light of a...
Shawn Michaels.
In light of a massive, and I mean massive lawsuit for, among many other things like sex trafficking, why did anybody think it was a good idea to say, you know what, how we're going to save Chase U is we're going to have the women whip their titties out? Why?
Well, they didn't. For one, you didn't see any of that. There was none of that. Just assumed. You're assuming a lot of things.
They had an image on the screen of JC and Thea Hale in men's shirt and nothing else.
Okay, then you're just assuming things.
It's in poor taste.
Hey, not disagreeing, but you're assuming things. You're assuming things.
There will be tasteful nudity. We'll pull the Twitch. There will be artistic, tasteful nudity.
There may be black boxes over things. You know, who knows?
But it's just, I'm sorry. It's a nitpicky thing, but to me, it's like in light of what had just happened, it's like you ran that angle. You ran with that. You couldn't find another way to do that, to have Chase U saved. Like, even if the girls go to the fucking gas station and buy scratch-offs, and they win enough money to do scratch-offs, like, you couldn't do that. So instead, it's like, we're gonna have a ladies' calendar where they're scantily clad, and that's how we're going to save Chase U.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's not fine.
It's fine. It's
incomplete. It's in complete and utter bad taste.
Yes, but really... it's fine. Just hold up the emote. It's fine.
Copium. We're just gonna do copium.
Moving on.
But that's like my one criticism. Was like I was watching the show this week and that happened, and I'm like, y'all, no, don't do this. Like, I could have accepted if they had the men do it. Like, a men's beefcake calendar. Like, I could have accepted that. That would have been fine. But, like, having the ladies do it is just kind of in poor taste, in light of everything.
So this Sunday is Vengeance Day. It has 6 matches on it, including 2 featuring Trick Williams, because watching other promotions, watching the person wrestle twice has always worked out well.
Yep.
Especially probably that's going to be in the opener and in the main. And one's a tag match and one's a world title match. But besides, you did work for one company, it will work for another. So let's get into some matches, shall we?
I have no idea what's going on in this match. I was very confused watching the show in regards to this. Dijak versus Joe Gacy. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is that Dijak beat the shit out of Joe Gacy on Tuesday and then chucked him into a dumpster. And then Ava Raine had him mad and yelled at Dijak, and Joe Gacy was still in the dumpster and came out of the dumpster. And I was just very... I don't know what's going on here at all.
They've been going at it a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and Joe Gacy's still trying to figure himself out since the disbandment of whatever his group was called. So he's trying to find himself. And he's violent with Dijak, so they're going to have a no DQ match.
I fully expect Dijak to win this.
Joe Gacy never wins, so yeah, Dijak's going to win this match.
I like what Dijak is doing. I just wonder if there's a way to make it more interesting.
There really isn't.
Because he's got the whole look going. Like, the look is good and the attitude's good, but like it's just not engaging. And then Joe Gacy's just jumped the shark. I have no idea what's going on there.
I wouldn't disagree. But here we are. So I'm going to go Dijak.
I'm going Dijak.
I hope everyone can hear this, but we'll see on this one. Wheel.
Wrestler 1.
Wrestler 1, which is Dijak.
Dijak, yeah.
A ball. Does Dijak win? Question mark. Better not.
Oh dear.
Does Joe Gacy win a ball? Very doubtful.
You need to be definitive.
Very doubtful. Very doubtful. There you go. Next on our sheet of people.
Up next, we our 6-person mixed tag team match. The Family, Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stax Lorenzo, and Adriana Rizzo taking on OTM, Lucian Price, Bronco Nima, and Jada Parker with scripts.
Reggie. Your tag team champions aren't going to lose, so I'm picking the Family.
I will also agree with that.
8-ball, does the Family win? You may rely on it. And Wheel? There really isn't much to add. It's just a 6-man.
Wrestler 2.
So that would be OTM. Since you're going off a wiki, save that one for last.
Okay. Obafemi, your champion, is taking on Dragon Lee in a singles match for the NXT North American Championship.
So Obafemi cashed in and won the championship from Dragon Lee after Dragon Lee successfully defended it against, I believe, Lexis King a few weeks ago. Now Dragon Lee is looking to recapture his championship. Obafemi is the first real standout of the NIL deal for WWE. He's come in and kind of proven himself there and earned himself a title shot for the North American Championship, and then they see a lot in him, thus putting the belt on him. This should be, in theory, Dragon Lee's swan song in NXT as he officially gets off the elevator and goes back up to SmackDown where he was called up to, but had to come in and fill in for Wesley.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to create a new talent and make them legitimate, beating Dragon Lee and retaining a championship would be the right move to do.
I would agree with that. I don't see need to take the title off of him, so we'll win.
Obafemi for me, Obafemi for you. 8-Ball goes. I didn't ask you. I forgot to ask 8-Ball. 8-Ball, does Obafemi retain? It is decidedly so. I never asked the question, just shook it. Wheel, what do you think?
Wrestler 1.
Okay, Oba.
Alright, next.
Up next, we have Lyra Valkyria taking on Roxanne Perez in a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship match. There's some very weird stalker things going on in this that I'm not quite sure about.
Yes, there are. Lyra has a very friendly person who likes her.
She's a tad obsessed.
She's a little obsessed, yes. And put Roxanne through a table last week. So, because she thought Lyra wanted it to happen.
She was under the table. She came out from under the table.
She was on. She. Who knows what she? Never mind. Anyway,
she has a shrine to Lyra.
Yes, she does. In the way Mickie James had one of Trish years ago.
Yeah.
People like things and have shrines to them. That's normal. It's normal. Chad, it's normal.
That's not normal.
People have shrines to people. That's normal.
Okay, fine. Who's your shrine to?
I don't have a shrine. But for others, it's normal. People built shrines. We've seen it in wrestling for years. Wrestlers are weird. They have shrines. Anyway, Lyra retains her championship.
I kind of want to go with Roxanne, but yeah, I have to agree with Lyra. The only way I can see Roxanne wins is if the stalker screws it up for Lyra, but I say
and she could. It's been a year since Roxanne's held the championship. I kind of feel like she's on her on her way up the elevator too. Is it normal to have hair of others? Asking for an acquaintance for legal reasons. Well, Brent, if you have hair of someone, then just let everyone know, and we'll judge you. Anyway,
it depends on how it was collected, honestly.
8-Ball, does Roxanne win? It is decidedly so.
Wrestler 1.
Having Lyra retaining. So let's go to the Dusty match first. That's where you.
All right. So in your match for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the men, and if they win, they receive a future NXT Tag Team Championship match. You have the Wolf Dogs, which is a terrible name. Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker taking on the Trick Mello Gang, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams.
So we talked about having shrines. It's also normal for people to come up with tag team names while in the shower. And that's what Braun did. He came up with the name Wolf Dogs in the shower while thinking about Baron Corbin.
You didn't need to add that.
That's what he said. That's what he said on television. I'm just repeating what happened on the television. I am repeating things that happened on TV.
Again, there are just certain things that don't be added or said, and that's one of them.
But it aired on television. Gotta give context for people who are not watching the program on a weekly basis, Lindsay. Gotta give context.
No,
yes,
that context was not necessary at all. really, really seriously not necessary.
Just because your brain took it elsewhere doesn't mean anything.
You could have left the part out about the shower.
Well, that's where it happened.
You could have left that out.
No, again, context.
No.
Context.
No. It's still an awful name.
It is still a very awful name, but apparently, hopefully they're shirts. People will buy them. So anyway, besides the point.
Is it wrong, by the way, that when I saw the graphic with Corbin on it, I was like, who the hell is that? Because he doesn't look like Baron Corbin at all in the graphic.
No. Anyway, so Braun and Baron were fighting, and now they're getting along, and kind of taking on Trick and Mello and all the whole thing that's been going on there for them with Muzz and Carmelo trying to clear his name and Trick trying to trust him again. And then because here's how we're going to tie everything together, Dragunov was out of action for a few months. Carmelo was like, hey, Trick, you want to be my partner in the Dusty Classic? And Trick was like hesitant, but agreed because Dragunov wasn't around. So after they won their first match, guess who showed back up?
Ilya.
Ilya Dragunov showed back up. So Trick's focus has been on the tag team, but more importantly, it's been focusing in on the title, the NXT Championship, and Carmelo is trying to be okay with it, but Trick keeps going and looking at the pretty gold belt rather than wanting to team with Carmelo, and we saw that evident at the end of NXT this past week. So it makes you wonder what the focus is, and it may cost the Trick and Carmelo everything at Vengeance Day, because I have a feeling they're not going to win the Dusty Classic, and I don't think Trick is going to win the NXT Championship, because I think Carmelo's going to have it after they lose the Dusty Classic. I think Carmelo costs Trick the match against Ilya.
I can back that up. By the way, since we're just talking about both right now, god damn, Ilya can get red.
Yes, he can.
Like, the end of the show where he's like pissed at Trick, it was like, dude, you need to calm down. You're gonna pop a blood vessel. Like, that is not healthy.
Yeah.
Like, damn. But no, I agree with all of those sentiments. I have absolutely nothing to add to that, because that makes complete and utter sense to me. So I'm going with the Wolf Dogs and their horrible name win, and also Ilya Dragunov wins.
So I'm going to go Wolf Dogs, and 8-Ball, do the Wolf Dogs win? My sources say no. As we said in the commercial, trust the sources, will...
Wrestler 1.
So that would mean the Wolf Dogs win that one. So you're going Ilya. I'm going Ilya. 8-Ball does Trick get it done on Sunday? Sources again say no. Well, and we learn trust the sources. And we go to the wheel.
Wrestler 2.
So that's Trick.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's Vengeance Day, which airs live this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for time and availability in your area. And we'll have it all recapped next Thursday here on the show.
We will, but with that, we're done. So you got stuff to plug, so plug away.
Saturday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, CB Radio Live is back with Greater Than Great Debate. And so much more with the Intern's Corner. It's CB Radio Live, Saturday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Sunday night, it's WTR Sunday Night Wrestle Talk Radio, 10 p.m. Eastern. They're going to talk about stuff. Monday night, it's the Raw Post Show, 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back next Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, reviewing NXT Vengeance and all the news, and hopefully nothing is newsworthy as the last couple of weeks. It's Rack Radio Show on all social media platforms, wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, Music, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. Just search The Rack Radio Show, The Rack Radio Show on all social media platforms, at Wild Talk Radio, Facebook.com/Wild Talk Radio, or chat. If you have us on Prime, link to your Twitch account. It's called Prime Gaming. Support the channel by clicking the purple rectangular button below the screen. You can also use carry code ROCKETSOCK or
Lindsey Ward
in the 499 shop or Epic Game Store. Why?
Because we are hashtag Epic Partners. You can follow me on most of the social medias at LindsWard, LNSWD. You can check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/LindsWard. You can follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/@LindsWard. And you can follow me on TikTok at LindsWard0. And while you're liking and subscribing and ringing bells and doing all the things, you can head over to Matt's channel, MBG Films, youtube.com/MBG1211, and give him a follow and a like and a subscribe. And tell him we said hi, because he's an awesome guy. So for Rock, I'm Lindsey Ward. we're going to go take off for the night. We hope you have a great one. And we're out. Bye!
WildTalkRadio.com